today we're excited to cut the ribbon and open the museum to the public. Tomorrow will be the first day it's open to the public. And as Bert said, a lot of people put in a lot of work for the last few years to make this happen. And as Bert's already mentioned, Heidi and Julie, Carl Roser, our photographer, spent a lot of time helping us go through photographs, many years of photographs. Greg and Baruchi, many years of videos. And I think Bert mentioned Bob Lagriola, who's become our team historian. So I'm sure I'm leaving people out, and I apologize to anybody I did, but just because it was a great team effort, and a lot of people worked really hard to make it happen. So thanks to Franco for being here today, helping us open the museum and Dan, and so now we'll cut the ribbon.
Want to just stage it real quick for the photo opportunity? All right, go ahead, Scott.
Orient you a little bit on this room. That wall behind you is the pre-Steeler wall, pre-1933. So you may be able to see over there, my grandfather played on several sandlot teams in the 20s, which was the start of kind of getting ready to bring a team into professional football. But there's a lot of different pictures of him over there in his uniform in the 20s, playing baseball as well, his boxing club. So that's like I said, the pre-Steeler era, and then the museum is organized by the decade. So the 30s start over there, the 40s. This is somewhat of a replica of my grandfather's office. Most of these pictures were in his office at one time, and this was one of his desks, one of his early desks. And on that side is a replica of my dad's office, and some of the pictures that he had in his office. And of course, there's a little sort of bit of story about each of them, and throughout the museum, there's stories about each individual, and then there are video locations throughout where you can play a little video about the different decades. So that's how this room's organized, and then others will show you kind of as you go forward through the decades. But happy to try and answer any questions if you have any.
Art, how did this come to be? When did you get the idea that you wanted to do this?
We thought about it for a while, but I'd say the last 3 years or so has been really kind of trying to plan it, hiring an architect, and bringing people on board to really make it happen. So a few years in the making.
What would your dad think about it, Art?
Hopefully he would like it. I think obviously he loved the history, and he loved black and white photography, so we had a lot of black and white photography. And I think he would like it. I hope so.
What were some of the memories that started? Had be a ton that were flooding through as you're looking at these pictures, putting this together.
Yeah, I mean, going through all these pictures brought back an awful lot of memories, and really trying to pick through what to use and what not to use was a lot of work, but a lot of fun, to be honest with you. And looking back at the Buddy Parker days, I was a young kid at the time, but there were some great players. Big Daddy Winston's jerseys over there, so guys like that made a big impression on me as a young guy. And so the early days in particular were a lot of fun to work on.
Art, do you have a favorite part here that stands out?
I can't say I have a favorite part. I mean, obviously this history, in this room with my family is special, but there's a lot of special stuff in here.
Or what do you want fans to know about your family?
I just want them to understand the history of trying to build the franchise. And as you know, my grandfather started the team in the 1930s and rough times during the Depression. He actually started teams in the 20s and grew into a professional team. And so I think having people understand the early history, I think would be great if people understand that better.
The pre-1930 stuff, where we first walked in there, where did you find all that? There were no Steeler records. Like, who kept all that?
Well, some of those pictures we've had in the family over the years, but some of them we had to unearth and reached out to different museums and different websites. I mean, these days it's amazing what you can find online. So tracking down different pictures from different eras was again, it was a lot of fun to find them in. We had a lot more. I mean, we could have filled up another wall
Art, I've heard about 3 or 4 different people tell me that they were the ones who told your grandfather about Franco's catch after he got off the elevator. Who actually told him and where, do you know?
Well, it was right when the elevator opened, and you're right, I've heard several different people who rode down in the elevator with them, so I'm not sure who exactly it was, not sure.
All right, anything else?
Art, just quickly, you take pride in your championships and in the connection to the fans that you have, but how much pride do you have in not only the legacy, but in preserving and continuing the legacy, and do you get emotional when you see the final product here?
Yeah, it is emotional, and you know, it was a labor of love putting this together, that's for sure, and really being able to display you know, a lot of stuff that we had in drawers and trunks and things like that. It's great to be able to put this on display and have our fans come in and you know, learn more about the history for sure.
Games by just a total of 11 points, and that, you know, really blows my mind that, you know, 11-3 to 3 games by a total of 11 points. So Miami Dolphins, we were on their heels. You know,